right, so with our lovely little Miss S, Sophie's turn. We're going to do a couple little find it's just to get in the groove like we tend to warm up with. Ready? Find it. Again, all the beauties are doing a spectacular job for week number 3. Nice. Sophie, come. Yes. We are going to practice a little bit with going to her bed in just a moment. Ready? Find it. And I do have some of her nice little chicken tidbits too. So those are some nice training treats you guys got as an extra little stash. Ready? Find it. That was very pretty. And you'll have to, again, excuse my darn tickle. Oh, almost done, so my throat can take a break. Ready? Find it. Good job, cutie. So obviously with our gorgeous gal, she's doing a really nice job with that orientation back to me. I'm going to warm up with a little bit of that loose leash walking. So remember, if loose leash walking seems to be really challenging with equipment on, like we've mentioned in the past, is try to make it where as you're meandering, you're just feeding for all these lovely moments near your leg and build from there. So again, I'm ripping up her little tidbits, really itty bitty. They're nice because they actually break quite lovely. Some of the freeze-dried snacks are such a pain in the bum because either they break into powder or they have a really hard time breaking and then they're really hard. So like a lot of times I find with like the beef liver snacks or some of those, the beef lung and some of those different organ meats, they tend to be really great crunchy snacks, but really challenging to break. So I find that I tend to cut them up much easier with a knife and a cutting board. But obviously just be careful. So that way you don't, have an injury potentially while trying to chop up dog treats. Nice job, cutie. If she does enjoy, some of the chicken and stuff too, and you're finding sometimes the freeze-dried makes her really thirsty, or, ready, find it, they tend to get really stuck in their mouth or in their throat. I find just, boiling up a little bit of chicken or buying even pre-made chicken and then chop it up in little baggies, and you can freeze the unfinished portions or extra chicken that you could use for another training session. Ready? Find it. So I'm just trying to get her in the groove like I did a little earlier with Mr. W as well. Going from the environment. Ready? Sophie, come. Yes. And then working some orientation to me from there or feed for anytime she gets back onto the side of my body near my leg again. Nice. Good job, cutie. But Miss S is really doing a very nice job. So right here, Sophie, come. Great job. Yes. She's so smart. So let's say she did a really nice job warming up with some of these previous skills. I think she's going to go grab maybe some water, or she's checking out some of the chew items off to the side. She's doing a really, really nice job throughout the day though. She's going to grab one of the biggest chews I have over there. That's adorable. So as I'm blabbing, I'm also sometimes breaking up some of the snacks as we go because not all of them are a perfect little portion size for her. So right now she found one of my water buffalo horns and she says it's quite delectable. So let's say she's maybe going to be enjoying a delectable new chew item. I might see if she can bring it on down this way. We could try it a little bit with working our stay, with our going to bed and place behavior. She's being awful cute trying to make the toys wiggle or the chews. What are you doing, wild woman? Nice job checking in. She's like, those toys or chews are as big as her practically. So let's say we're going to try. I'm just going to breaking up a few more little tidbits before we get rocking and rolling. Ready, cutie? Yes, nice job. Mr. W says, worst day ever. Why aren't I wrestling with my best friend? So, but they do take little breaks throughout the day and they rotate through their little zones. So we might go into our bed. Yes, smart girl. So in the beginning, if we're going to be practicing going to a target, I like to work a few setups on the target bed, mat, or cot, whatever you're using as your visual. And I typically like to feed a few tidbits while they're on that target, well before we even start implementing like the stay cue. So again, she can hop off, no big deal. We might go bed. Yes, and start to feed for that. Gorgeous. So remember that when we're working through any of our behaviors or skills, is we do want to fade out that lure as quickly as we can. So I know in the beginning to create behavior, we show the dog how to do something by following the food in our hand. We'd want to empty our hand, go bed, see if we can get our gorgeous gal to come target. She's like, that seems silly. Yes. And then right there, feed for that response. So we might, again, have her slip off the bed. Nice. So we can do a few reps. Ready? Sophie, come. So I might just call her, work that little recall, go bed. Yes, and then start to implement that beautiful timing there. So if this was really hard for her, I'm going to jackpot her, which again is one snack after another to build value in this thing that we're doing. Again, we could have her hop off. Nice. So if we're going to go ahead and apply the stay to this in just a moment, I'm just going to wet the whistle again. So sorry. She's like, why do we keep taking breaks? All right. Ready? So we're going to bring our gorgeous girl back to her bed. Ready? Bed? That's still very nice. That's like a pause up on your bed. That's still good. So remember too, guys, to also feed the almost there. So if let's say your babe was really having a hard time with targeting their target bed or whatever it might be, and you're not reinforcing bed, even the beginning stages of it, you might then miss out on a moment where you could be feeding the beginning stages versus waiting for the full big boy, big girl behavior that maybe they can't offer yet. So think about shaping or feeding for the beginning stages and eventually shaping to the full skill down the road. This is really pretty. So ready? Bed? Yes. So right now we've just been working on going to the target again, building in some more of that skill set. She's like, thanks, crazy lady. And what we're going to end up doing is that we're going to start to apply our stays. So right now I'm just breaking up a few more crumbs. We're going to get off our little mat. She's like, I guess so. So remember that for getting off of her place bed, I typically don't like to feed for leaving the target because I want to try to build up value in being in the target. So if she got just as much food for getting off of it, then getting off might be just as valuable. So I want her to start thinking, oh, backward sneezing. We got a little excited. Ready? Bed? You all right, ma'am? So much excitement. So if she doesn't quite grasp it, I'm going to help her out a little bit right there. Yes. So let's say I'm going to apply my stay. So I'm going to tell her to stay. She got really excited about these snacks. And I'm going to go ahead and feed her several goodies while still staying near her. If, let's say, she got up and wiggled, she's not going to get in trouble. I'm not going to get mad at her. She's also maybe a little tired, which is acceptable. She's maybe going to grab a drink. Maybe not. Sophie, come. Yes. So again, I'm just going to call her, but that was very nice on your bed too. So I'm going to bring her onto the bed a little bit more, get that little sit, tell her to stay. And I'm going to do a couple rapid fire snack feeding moments. Some of these are a little too little, so I'm just going to get a couple biggers. And remember, sometimes short and sweet is much better. So I like to feed kind of rapid fire to keep the attention span locked on me before I lose her. Then I'm going to go all done, and then we get up and we wiggle, but there's no food given for being all done with the stay. So if we're feeding for leaving the stay as well as going to the stay, I feel like sometimes that creates some confusion. So remember, think about stay as in freeze tag with room service or statue stay. So if your puppy is a statue, they don't have legs to use. So I would highly recommend think of stay as you have to go back and retrieve your puppy from their target or from their stay anywhere they might be. If let's say she's also, I'm just going to help her. Ready, cuteness? Hi, cutie patootie. So let's say our little lady is very interested. She likes my buffalo horn today. So we're going to have her go to her bed. Excuse me. And we're going to set her up. Here, you want to chew on it right here? So if she's interested in a item, I know we've discussed this in class too, where have your puppy sometimes have a chew while also working on vegging in that spot. Oh my goodness, that's gigantic. Whatever works. At least we know it's not going to be a choking hazard, which is a win. So if your babe does have chew items, like I noticed Mr. T, his little purple stuffable toy, that one I would start to maybe not have as often, because if he starts to romp and wrestle and he's playing with it, it could go down his throat. So even like a tennis ball sized ball for a dog that's like 50 to 60 pounds could still fit down their trachea. So I would be cautionary when picking items for your babes. So like right here, we might tell her to stay. And if let's say she's enjoying her chew, you can keep letting her rock it. But then I will also do part of, again, feeding for being on the spot. So this could also be very similar to the treat and retreat game, even though we're not working on preventing resource guarding. And we're not working on, for example, toy or chew exchanges right now. But we're building up that hanging out on her spot with a chew. And that like while she's vegging, there's extra bonus bits given for staying stationary. That could be another way to build value in staying in our place behavior. She says the buffalo horn is for the win. Nice. So if, let's say, having a chew helps your puppy stay still for a bit longer, that means you might be building in this concept of being able to kind of go and veg, and then maybe, okay, dinner time for us. Maybe there's a special chew that comes out for the puppy, and now she could stay busy with that on her dog bed while she's maybe 5-10 feet from where you're hanging out doing your dinner time. Nice. I'm just tossing food right onto the bed as she's rocking a great job with her stationary position. If your puppy were to get up and wiggle, you would just restart up the exercise, and then that's when you would reapply your stay. So like right there, I maybe lose her. Maybe she has to go get a drink. Thinking about it. Maybe. So if not, then I'm going to go bed. Yes, I'm going to feed for even the first few front feet on there. And then maybe she's going to go ahead and get cozy back on her target. And of course, she's going to set up with half her butt falling off. That's okay. So let's say, again, if she's a little bit unsure, I might help her. Ready, cuteness? We'll bring you down this way so you have more space. And we'll see if we can get our lovely lady to go all the way onto her bed. Ready, Sophie? Ready? Sit. We'll see if I can lure her forward a little bit onto the target. So part of it, too, is even if, let's say, you're getting the beginning stages, like we mentioned, where it could be her caboose has fallen off, but most of her front end is on the target, I'd still count it. So right here, I might tell her, ready, stay. And she's like, I'm busy in my own world. So this could also be a way that you're multitasking. So she's getting the double whammy of getting some crumbs given while also being in this place behavior. But then she's also getting some bonus bits for hanging out with a chew toy. And then the chew toy itself is also reinforcing where she's enjoying her chew item while also hanging out on her target mat. So, but this could be, as I was mentioning, very beneficial. Like you wanted to sit down to watch a movie, or you wanted her to stop, bothering the kitties while you're working other skills. Allowing her for some decompression time on her target with a chew could be another great way to build up duration on their target mat or dog bed. This is really pretty. I'm sorry that you have her caboose facing the camera. Either way, she's adorable. So she's like, this is delectable. So let's say, again, maybe she's really loving the chew and you'd like to take a little break from it. I would recommend to sometimes rotate. So I know we've mentioned the treat and retreat. We've mentioned the toy exchange game for most of the beauties in the class, in the program. So we may find for her, just like any other beauty, even though she's little, doesn't mean we want to be able to just swipe something from her just because we can. So remember, even for little dogs, us coming near when they have something of value might turn into moments where they don't want to give it up. So I would recommend practice doing this little exchange. Ready? We'll go into a little find it and see if we can get her to practice bouncing back and forth. If you see that she's a little bit stuck on something, I wouldn't take this moment to be like, okay, she's not listening, let me just go take it from her. So if she's having a little bit of a moment where she really enjoys that bad boy, we might even bust out a little bit with some play. And this is where doing the toy exchange and rotation through items might be also really helpful. Ready, cuteness? So if your puppy doesn't want to give up a different item, sometimes toys could be another great way. She's like, no, this buffalo horn is the winner. And who knows, maybe you guys might have to get a buffalo horn for later. So remember too, gnawing is a very natural dog behavior, but especially puppy behavior. So if we're finding she is in love with the chew item, maybe there will be moments where you're like, you know what, maybe we'll just let her chew. And then that way you have something that is a good item for her to gnaw on, and you maybe get an extra little breather. It could be also towards the end of the day. She's been doing playing. She's been taking all the sights and sounds and smells in for the day. And she might be getting more fatigue, which means she wants to take a little moment to take a break and enjoy her chew item. So when we go to practice with some of these place behaviors, though, if you're finding this is going really well with her place, maybe we can go ahead and work some distraction work and we'll see how it goes. So if she's not interested in exchanging quite yet, there is no harm in, like, let's say you had a thought, but then your babe wasn't quite ready to do it. You'll see that I don't go right into like, oh, my dog's wrong for not listening the first time. I'll just go ahead and take this from them or get them agitated or overwhelmed to show them who the boss is. It tends to normally create more of a confusion moment between them and you for your relationship. So let's say she's enjoying her lovely chew. I might go ahead and try and be a little distracting. So maybe I might make some noises. Nice. And if she, let's say, stays put with her chew, I'm going to go ahead and toss a little something at her. She's like, that one doesn't have any value for her today. She says, only the chew toy is amazing. She's doing a very nice job watching the crazy lady doing some distraction work over here. Nice. Oh, what a smart girl. Ready? You want to do a little find it? So if, let's say, we were taking a little breather and I wanted her to practice getting up, if, let's say, we did need to take a break from the item, ready? Getting her up and moving could be a much better way to get the item out of range for a moment, so that way it's not going to be always confrontational with you just taking things from her. So even though, yes, she was enjoying that delicious buffalo horn, she's like, how dare you take my prized possession? Ready? We could then go from there into working a few other little skills. So maybe I'll make sure she can have that bad boy for a little bit later so she can chew on something for her decompression time. Ready? So we go, so ready, bed? There's a whole slew of goodies that you left behind, ma'am. So if she's a little bit unsure from that angle, ready? I might get her attention. I'm going to lure her back onto her bed. Oh, there's the crumb you lost earlier. Yes, right there. Nice. But I know she only has so much space as well. So you may find for her, just like with many of the littles, even though her crumbs, I tried to make them little, she may start to get kind of full and then not be quite as food driven, which is perfectly fine. I'm so sorry about my tickle again. I know, what am I doing, huh? I'll be okay. It's just a darn tickle. Good job, cutie. So maybe we'll try just one more little quick rep with some of these stays and we'll see how we're feeling. You want to try it? How are those snacks? Are those pretty delicious? We'll grab a few of the ones that she really enjoys. Ready? Oh, good job cleaning up. Ready, Soph? Bed? Yes, smart girl. Ready? She's like, I have to clean up the mess I left behind. You're doing such a nice job. So, but remember to keep your session short and sweet, like we mentioned a little bit earlier, so that way they can all be set up for greater success while working sometimes novel situations or generalizing some of the skills. So we might get a little sit. She's like, nope, my brain melted. So don't worry if at times it doesn't go as smoothly as you were hoping. Remember that a lot of the times working these big girl, big boy skills do take time. Ready? We'll do a little find it. Bed. Yes, nice. Good job, cutie. Ready? So we'll see if we can get her to go into a little bit of a moment where she can relax on her bed. She might be all done with it for now, which is really not the end of the world. I'm trying to see if I have any more of my snacks. I know she really likes some of mine too. Ready? Sophie, come. Oh yeah, look at how slow she's going. So if, again, she's ever showing signs that she's taking a little moment and she needs a break from what you're rocking, don't worry if you don't always get to. I'm just going to dump out some of these crumbs for her. And I'm just going to move this out of range. Don't worry if sometimes your training or your plan for the session has to change. So we may find, you know what, she's maybe a little fatigued. I'm going to see if she wants to do a little bit of play. And maybe what we'll do is we'll take a break from this. We'll do a little bit of play, and then we'll do maybe a little bit with some weights and see how those are progressing as well. But Miss S did a really nice job with the beginning, again, stages of that place and stay behavior.